The City of Elmhurst will be collecting pumpkins for composting at the Elmhurst Public Works Garage, 985 South Riverside Drive, on November 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon. This annual pumpkin composting event is held in cooperation with Scarce, an organization dedicated to inspiring people to care for the earth in DuPage County. Thousands of pumpkins have been purchased this season with the intended use of fall decor. When the season comes to an end, many of these pumpkins are thrown away. The City of Elmhurst has teamed up with Scarce to provide an easy outlet for residents and business owners to recycle decorative pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. Why compost pumpkins? They are full of nutrients that are good for the soil. They are 90% water. Most of the pumpkins processed in the United States are grown in Illinois, so this keeps the water and nutrients here. Composting pumpkins returns nutrients and water back to our earth. All pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns can be dropped off at the event for composting. However, only the pumpkins themselves will be collected. Participants with jack-o'-lanterns decorated with stickers, candles, yarn, etc. should remove any materials in or on the pumpkin before delivering for composting. For more information about this event, please call 630-530-3036 or visit elmhurst.org.
In an effort to provide residents with an easy, secure, and safe way to dispose of unwanted or expired prescription drugs, the City of Elmhurst has a collection box in the Police Department lobby. This safe and easy drop-off location allows residents to be eco-friendly and keep medications out of the water supply, in addition to keeping them out of the hands of our youth or individuals who might otherwise abuse prescription drugs. Prescription painkillers, or opioid pain relievers, are to blame for nearly 3/4 of tragedies caused by drug overdose. Residents are encouraged to look through medicine cabinets and bring these expired or unwanted medications to the Elmhurst Police Department. In an effort to make it even easier for residents to dispose safely of their unwanted or expired medications, the police department hosts annual prescription drug take-back days, where a portable prescription drug collection box is available at various community events. For more information, visit www.elmhurst.org.
We love coming to the fire station. We've come for the last few years, and they have all the trucks out, the firefighters are out so you can ask questions, and it's just fascinating, and I think it's really educational too.
There's an actual sliding fire pole that we have. A technical rescue team simulation of a high-angle rescue. We have inside, we have various activities and educational handouts, and we have an inflated bouncy house for the young kids, although I'm tempted to take my shoes off and go in there myself. And we have our fire apparatus and squad cars that are here for hands-on, and that the kids and the adults can go through.
It's always a nice, exciting, fun time. Most people don't get to see something like this up close, so we like to show it off.
It's kind of a way for the public to come and see the fire station, see what the firefighters do, take a tour of the firehouse, and then we have a bunch of activities.
everybody, and welcome to this edition of Cool Cars Under the Stars on Elmhurst, our kind of town. I'm Tony Cuzzone, and I'm going to take you back in time a little bit as we look at some of these vintage vehicles, talk with some of their owners, and just remember back in the day. Elmhurst has had an event called Cool Cars Under the Stars, and it used to be on the summer nights over in the city center area that we call the downtown area of Elmhurst, on York Street and on Addison Street between 1st and 2nd. However, with all the new development that's going on in the downtown area and the construction that goes along with it, Cool Cars has had to be put on hold for a while. But guess what? Our very own Elmhurst American Legion THB Post 187 decided to bring this nostalgic event back to Elmhurst again. And here we are tonight at their facility at Butterfield and Spring Road. But before we go out and look at some of these vintage vehicles and talk with some of their owners, I want you to meet three very special people who have been very active with the American Legion and are instrumental in bringing cool cars back to Elmhurst. With me is John Scudder, the commander.
Good evening.
Paul Mason and Bill Shanklin. Let's start with Paul. Paul, I know you've been one of the originators with Cool Cars Under the Stars from many years ago. What made you bring this nostalgic event back to Elmhurst and here at the American Legion?
We're one of the oldest car shows in the state, and as well as DuPage County. A lot of the other towns started following our lead and bringing the business, more business through the car shows and having them walk around and see the cars and hang out with the family. So it was a great idea to have that in Elmhurst, and when they did all the construction, as you were saying, you don't want lime dust and concrete dust falling on these vintage cars. So we stopped it while they were building, but they've still got the construction going on. So we were looking for what I call a nest, someplace to sit down, have the show, and we looked at other venues, and the American Legion just was a perfect fit with the area. And the parking facilities, they're great. You can get something to eat, drink. They take care of our people. And it's been turned out pretty good. We've got a good turnout every night since first night out of the gate. We did 60 cars. And every night it's 70, 80. Every night we're coming back more and more stronger. So it's a great time.
That's really great. Just looking around myself, I see some vehicles that I have seen before at Cool Cars, and it's just way cool seeing some of these owners coming back again.
We went to a couple of car shows and asked people what was going on, and once they spotted you, they were like, "Hey, Paul, why isn't Cool Cars in Elmhurst?" And we're like, we were trying to find a nest, and once we went to a couple of the car shows and told them what we were doing, they're back here. They're like, "Hey, I got your brochure. I'm back. Oh, American Legion was great. Thanks for having it there. Thanks for hosting it." So we tell them to go in and thank the gentleman in charge here to let them know how we appreciate their parking and their facility and lending us the opportunity to have the show again. And it's a real great time. We've had the mayor, the police chief, the fire chief, everybody's come down here and thanked us for bringing it back, and it's nice to see that in Elmhurst.
I'm really happy to hear that. Now, I understand you're serving food and whatnot here, too.
The Legion has got a $5 special, and you get hamburgers or brats or hot dogs, beefs, and they feed the people here, and it's nice. The ladies can go inside and use the facilities and have something to drink and chit-chat, and while the guys are outside with the kids walking around telling them about the cars, and it's nice. And everybody's real friendly. You can stop by any of the cars. The people will tell you the history of the car and what it meant to them, and it's really nice to see that.
Very cool. Well, again, we're really happy to be here, but we've talked a little bit about the cars, and we talked a little bit about the event itself, but I'd like our viewers to know a little bit about the American Legion and what they do and some of the activities that they have. Now, Bill Shanklin Bill and I, we work together on the Memorial Day Parade. Yes, we have. And Bill does a really great job with the ceremonial that takes place right after the parade at the Veterans Memorial Park. Bill, you have your military ball coming up on October 27th. Tell our viewers about that. I know that's a very big event.
Well, this will be our third event. The past two have been very successful, and the idea is to bring the community into the American Legion, learn a little bit about the military values, what it's like to have served in the military, see some of our traditions and some of the things that goes on at a military ball. This will be a dining out, which means we're bringing in people from the outside, your guest, wife, girlfriend, whatever, and so it's a very nice event. The last two we've had, people didn't want to go home. It's very action-packed, fast. Nobody gets bored. There's lots of things that happen throughout the evening. Cocktails will be at 6 p.m., followed by bagpipers arriving to pipe everybody in for dinner at 7 o'clock on the dot. And during dinner, there will be a lot of things going on, like traditional toasts. We have a surprise guest. We've got a brigadier general that's going to be a guest speaker, dancing afterwards, and everybody's going to have a good time. It is really a good time, and it's a good idea and a good thing for people to learn more about what goes on down at the American Legion, who we are, what's our culture like, what are our values, what caused you to do what you do, and we look forward to it again. And next year will be our 100th anniversary. We're already planning for that one.
Wow, 100 years in Elmhurst.
Yeah. Do I look that old?
You don't look a day over 25. Bill, if people want to know more information as far as tickets and times and things like that, how can they contact the Legion for the military ball?
Well, you can contact me directly, 708-267-3987, or here at the post, you can ask for me or our chairman, Colonel Mark Mallon.
Very good. Very good. Well, I know you're going to have a big turnout. You always do. Yeah, that's very exciting. Now, John Scudder, our commander of the American Legion.
Yes, sir.
You picked a great night for us to do this tonight. You know, I don't know how you did that, but
I know the boss.
you know
I know the boss.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the big guy.
The big guy in the sky shined upon us tonight. Believe me.
Well, you're doing something right.
I hope so. I really do.
The Post is involved with many Elmhurst community activities, such as the annual Memorial Day Parade and the ceremonial Veterans Memorial, scholarships for children, aid and assistance to our local needy veterans and their families. Tell our viewers a little bit more about those programs.
We're a veterans organization. We're a service organization. Any veteran can come in that has a problem, and we'll try to get it solved, whether it's to bury a loved one and they need to get the records. Somebody has to get into Hines VA hospital. They need their discharge papers. We have the connections to do that as quickly as possible so that the process can move along for these people. If an individual is having problems with post-traumatic stress, we can connect them with the right person at Hines Hospital and how to get that started. Anything that a veteran needs, we can find a way to provide it at no cost. If somebody needs a ride to make an appointment at any medical facility, we will get them there. If a veteran needs eyewear, hearing aids, and things like that, we can get them to the right people to see so that they can get the help that they need and get the instruments that they need. They have a full life. It's as simple as that. So those are just some of the programs that we do. We try to connect people with jobs. We have a network of veterans that are looking for people. We'll try to connect them with that if in fact they need jobs. So it covers a wide spectrum, but it's the type of an organization that we leave nobody behind. As we were taught in the military, nobody is left behind for any reason whatsoever. So that just covers some of the things that we do within the city of Elmhurst.
That's really chilling. Nobody gets left behind.
Nobody is left behind for whatever reason. If they need help, we're going to get them the help.
Yeah, so you must have a wide network of resources for the veterans.
Yes, we do. We work closely with our congressional congressmen, Quigley and Roscom. We get a hold of their military liaison, say we need this, we need that, and within a half hour, it's coming across our fax machines, and otherwise it might take 6-7 weeks to go through the regular route that people have to go through. Right. A lot of it has to do with getting somebody buried in a national cemetery. Down at Lincoln National Cemetery, we can facilitate that as quickly as possible for people.
Gotcha.
We also hold memorial services for veterans. Their family want to come in. We have the room available to them, and that's some of the other things that we do. Bill with his honor guard, and at funerals, wakes, graveside services, we provide an honor guard, and we also provide the bugler. Somebody will take the chaplain and go through their military life and things like this, and then offer a prayer so that veterans are not left behind, even if they're no longer with us. They get what they deserve, the proper send-off.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not left behind, and they're not forgotten either.
Not at all. Not at all. We connect with quite a few people like that. We work with the city. We provide speakers to different organizations. At the end of this month, we're going to be, Bill's one of them, myself is another one, speaking at Elmhurst College to different classes and things. We're arranging through Elmhurst Hospital and Hines VA. A symposium is going to be held to how to treat veterans in a civilian hospital and how to spot different things. Dr. Braverman, who's the head of Hines Hospital, is going to be here, and we're going to get together with the different section heads of the hospital and how we all can work together. So that's some of the other things that we do too.
Gotcha. That's really great.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
you guys are you're really
That's our
really
charter,
great to hear.
help veterans.
That's really great. Now, I know you have some other activities that go on here. I know you have bingo, you have fish fries that
Yes,
go on,
we
and
do.
I've had your fish fries. They are really good.
They are. They're
Tell
just
our
delicious.
viewers about some of the other activities that you have going on here.
Well, primarily what we'll do is we have, again, our bingo. We do have pull tabs. Right now we have Chase the Queen of Hearts. And this is a game that's really taken off around the state. We have that going on. We're open for lunch every day of the week. Our post is open to the public. It's not a closed post. So people can come in, they can have their lunch, come in after work, have a beer or something like that. Saturday afternoon clubs, we have lunch for $5. So anybody can come in and get a great meal for $5. You can't even buy a loaf of bread now just for that. So it's all done. It's done by volunteers. Our auxiliary constantly is packing up what we call care packages, and those are sent to the troops overseas or on the warships that are deployed, so that these guys can open it up. Guys and women can open it up, and there's things that they need: toothbrushes, shoe polish, Kleenex, whatever it takes. Those boxes are sent to them. We pick up all the postage and things like that, so that the troops can get something all of a sudden out of nowhere. You know, if you're sitting on the front line in Saudi Arabia or over in Iraq or in Afghanistan, it's great to get something like that, because a lot of times you can't get back to get these items. So we don't forget our active duty people either. Every Thanksgiving we bring as many recruits as we possibly can to Great Lakes Naval Training Center. They come here, they get a full Thanksgiving Thanksgiving meal. That we'll provide them with laptops from the library so they can contact home, and the members themselves will loan these kids their cell phones so that they can call home for the first time since they were up there. So they get a full day.
There you go.
So they're told that, hey, you're going to do community service, you're getting on a bus, you're going to work someplace. We let them know when they get on a bus that this is all for them. And they've always had great greetings when people get off the bus. There's a great crowd, and they can go in there, relax, and have a good time.
Really great, really
Yes.
great. You guys do an outstanding job.
We try
you really
very
do.
hard. We really do.
Well, we need to support our Elmhurst American Legion. You've heard all of the events that they have and the things they do for the community. And you're open for lunch every day.
Every day.
So it helps them because it's not cheap today to have a building like you have and a parking lot and everything else, and the maintenance and operating costs that go along with us. So please support our American Legion. And thank you, John. Thank you, Bill.
Tony.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Paul, for doing what you do. And thank you again for putting together cool cars under the stars. So
Thank you for the American Legion for hosting us. The first day we came here, you couldn't be any happier. They had full color guard for us, and it was just fantastic. I'm an ex-scout, and that just gets you in the heart.
yeah, that would. All right, guys. Now it's time to take a look at some of our vintage vehicles here at Cool Cars Under the Stars. with John Valley, who's also a member here of the American Legion, and he's our York Township supervisor. John, thanks so much for being here tonight.
Tony, I'm glad to see you guys here. I mean, I see you everywhere. I think you're like a movie star in Elmhurst.
In Elmhurst, oh my goodness.
I seen you last time when you were playing in your band over in Elmwood Park. That's why. I'm sorry.
Thank you. John,
Yes, sir.
you brought your street rod with you tonight. This thing just looks amazing. Tell our viewers a little bit about it.
Well, it's a 1934 Chevy. It's a coupe. It's an Outlaw body, which means it's fiberglass. There's only two companies that make the best, and Outlaw's one of the best in Downs. It's got a Heights independent front suspension on there, disc brakes, power steering, brakes. It's got disc brakes in the front, PB&G paint, which is a summer green.
I was going to ask you about the color of this paint. Looks like it almost glows in the dark.
Well, it doesn't glow in the dark, but it's a striking color. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's,
what is it called again? Summer
green from
Summer green.
PB&G.
Okay.
And Midwest Street Rods painted it, and the interior is done by Roselle Top and Trim. It's got vintage air on it. It's got power windows, power antenna. Everything's brand new on it. The only thing old on it is the style of the body. It's got a 2-inch chop on the top. It's actually got sedan headlights on there. The coupe headlights back in '34 were smaller. On the sedan, they were bigger. I think it looks much better. Plus, I dropped the front end 2 inches lower, lowered the A-arms on it and stuff like that.
Rear wide oval tires on the rear?
Well, we don't call them oval tires, but they got bigger tires in the back and the smaller ones in the front. Yes,
Okay.
Oval tires. That was in the '60s there with red line tires and your ovals in your dad's car.
Yeah, right. These headlights are amazing. Honestly, it gives it kind of a antique look, but it also makes it look like a hot rod.
Well, it is from 1934. So, and back there's something that somebody was asking me when I was here a couple weeks ago at the show. They said, well, where's the rumble seat? I said, well, you could order a car in '34 with a rumble seat or without. And if you get it without, it was for your luggage. And if you can look at there, you can't get too much into that car. 2 people and maybe a little tiny bag. I mean, that's how small the car is. So you could order it either way. And I think in 1938, Chevy stopped doing the rumble seat, and '39 was Ford and Dodge. They stopped making them. So.
Gotcha.
I'm having fun here in Elmhurst. Thank the mayor and everybody else. I mean, I want people to come out to the post here. I mean, the post here, they got wonderful meals, fish fry. I mean, great camaraderie with people. How could you go wrong?
Yeah, it's a great night.
Karaoke they got after you eat on Fridays and that. They got guys that come on, people sing. I mean, it's actually a fun time here.
Way cool, way cool. John, thank you so much again. John Valley, everybody, bringing his street rod at Cool Cars Under the Stars. I'm now with Mike Therian, and he has his Hemi Chi-Town Shaker here tonight. Oh my gosh, what a vehicle. Mike, tell our viewers about your vehicle.
Well, this car came into the Larry Roche Chrysler back around 1974, and one of the mechanics there was able to buy the car and start racing it, and I shortly after got involved in it, and some years ago took over the ownership of the car and have been racing it ever since.
Where do you race it at?
All over the country. We've been to Richmond, Virginia, Memphis, Tennessee, Muncie, Indiana, just all over, Wentzville, Missouri. So we've traveled with the NMCA and then later on with the Nostalgia Superstock Incorporated.
Wow. What do you got under the hood?
It's a 426 Hemi. The car's class legal right now. It'll run up in the 9s without pushing it too hard. Okay. I keep it a little slower just so I don't have to have some of the safety equipment anymore that you would need. Wow. Kind of doing it more for fun now than actual competition-wise.
Yeah. And you're the mechanic.
Yes, I've always wrenched on the car since the 70s, and eventually I took over driving chores and then finally the ownership of the car, yes.
I got you. Is that a special kind of color paint or on there? Or?
No, back in the day, you like something that stands sitting up in the fans 200-300 feet away. They like to see the car, and so you like to pick something that's going to show up that makes your car a little different as the name. Back in the day, cars were either usually named after an area of the country or something else like a dealership or something. And We're from Chicago. We picked Chi-Town.
Gotcha. Hood locks on there. I haven't seen those
the
in a long
hood,
time.
it's a fiberglass hood, which the whole front end's glass. Your doors are glass. The cars were lightened up at the factory for racing. They were one of the fastest package cars ever made. NHRA has actually made a separate class for these cars today, and they're now running in the 8s.
I got you.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's a hard top. It's all hard top,
Yes,
right?
yeah, it was a hard top. That's the only way they came. You could get a 4-speed or an automatic, but
This is 4-speed, this one?
This one originally was a 4-speed, but it runs an automatic now. It just makes it more consistent, a little easier on the car.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, this definitely brings us back in the day. Oh my gosh. And what year is it again?
It's a 1968 Dodge Hemi Dart.
1968. And that was the year, late 60s,
Yes,
early 70s, when we had all the muscle cars,
Yes,
right?
the muscle car wars were at full blown, fighting it out at that time, and some of the greatest cars we've ever known were made. The Hemi cars, the LS6 Chevelles, the L88 Corvettes, the 429 Super Cobra Jet Mustangs and Torinos. Just an awesome time in history for cars.
Yes, absolutely. And I think gas at that time was well under $1 a
Yeah,
gallon.
yeah, 30 cents to 60 cents a gallon, and that was for premium.
Yeah, do you ever use that special blend? Remember the Sunoco? I think
Yeah,
you could dial your own.
You could dial in your own blends.
Yeah,
Yes. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Of course, we run racing fuel now, which is about $8 a gallon. So
Okay. Yeah. Big
because,
difference.
Yeah, it's got 14-to-1 compression, so you got to have a lot of pop in the fuel to make it run. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mike, thank you so much. We want to thank Mike Therian for bringing his Hemi Chi-Town here to cool cars under the stars. I'm now with Linda Besky Aldis, York 74, and Kristen Yatz, York 05. York High School is celebrating their 100th year anniversary. Can you believe that? A century here in Elmhurst. And they're here tonight at Cool Cars Under the Stars. They have a little booth set up with all of their goodies and activities that are here. So I'll let Linda tell our viewers a little bit about what's coming up at York as they celebrate their 100th year anniversary.
Approximately 2 years ago, a group of people, alums, organized and began meeting to specifically host the centennial celebration and organize it. And we've done a fairly good job. We will be continuing with our York Community High School Alumni Association even after the celebration. And we will be implementing mentoring and scholarships that are not already offered through various groups at the school. And we also will be raising money for things that will benefit students specifically at York, some of their needs. It's free to join, and we plan some upcoming events after the centennial, and we're always welcome to hear from everyone. And Kristen is in charge of membership.
Kristen.
Yes, so if you'd like to join, all you have to do is find us on Facebook, or you can find us on the high school webpage, the York Alumni Association. So we look forward to having you as part of our member.
Very cool. This is a new organization. This was newly formed now, the Alumni Association, right?
Yes. Formed in the 98th year of York. Okay. We will be celebrating the centennial a little bit longer. We'll have a couple of events in 2019 and another in 2020. And we have ways that you can financially support us with clings and t-shirts if you'd like to purchase those. But we encourage you to look at the website and participate when you can.
Well, Linda, Kristen, thank you so much for being here tonight with us on Cool Cars, and we wish you all the best as York celebrates their 100th year anniversary here in Elmhurst. With Dave Kirkle from LaGrange, and he has a vintage Pontiac. Dave, this car is just amazing. Oh my God, with wide oval tires and everything. Tell our viewers all about your car.
This is a 1958 Pontiac Parisienne. A lot of people have never heard of a Parisienne model in the Pontiac, and there's a reason why. They were made in Canada for the Canadian market, and they use different names for their cars up there. And this was the very first year for the Pontiac Parisienne, which was intended to be similar to the Bonneville top-of-the-line Pontiac made in the United States.
I was going to ask you, how did that relate to the Bonneville or the Catalina?
Appearance-wise, they're almost identical. However, in Canada, they were made in the same GM factory that they made Canadian Chevrolets. So this car is actually built on a Chevy chassis and drivetrain. It has a 283 cubic inch V8 with a Power Glide 2-speed transmission. A little bit different than the Pontiacs down here.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's almost, they're maybe 3 inches shorter, but unless they were side by side, you wouldn't notice that. And the color is called Tropicana Turquoise. When I saw the color of this car, that was it. It was all over. I had to have it.
It is unique.
Yeah, we just take it to cruise nights and car shows and, joy rides on a nice sunny day. That's about it.
There you go.
So,
and that's what we have tonight. Well, I mean, we've got
beautiful day,
nighttime settling in right now, but it was a beautiful sunny day today.
Yeah.
So this is the Pontiac Parisienne, they call it?
Yes, they made 759 convertibles in 1959. That was it. So it's a fairly scarce car, especially in the United States. You just don't see them down here because they were never intended to be exported down here.
A lot of iron on this thing too. It is a heavy car.
Yeah, it is, but it rides and handles very nice. It's got power steering, power brakes.
Nice. The speaker in the back seat right in the middle.
Yeah, power antenna, power top. It's quite a cruiser.
Yeah. Looks like it. Yeah. Very cool. Dave, thanks so much for bringing your vehicle here tonight. Dave Kirkle from LaGrange with his Pontiac Parisienne here at Cool Cars Under the Stars. Well, we've come to the end of our show. I had a fantastic time here tonight. I hope you did too, watching these vintage cars and talking with the owners and learning about our Elmhurst American Legion. We hope to be back again next year, 2019, here at the American Legion for Cool Cars Under the Stars. I want to thank the American Legion, John Scudder, the commander, Bill Shanklin, Paul Mason, for putting Cool Cars together. And I want to thank the American Legion membership and all their officers for doing such a great job that they do and doing what they do in our community. I'm Tony Cuzzone. I hope to see you next time at Cool Cars and on Elmhurst, our kind of town.
Welcome to the Elmhurst History Museum. I'm Patrice Roach of the museum staff, and today we're going to take you on a tour of our current exhibit, Chicago Rink Rats, the golden age of roller skating. We're here in the Chicago Rink Rats exhibit with our curator of exhibits, Dan Bartlett. And Dan, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about some of the highlights of the Rink Rats exhibit.
We're standing right now in front of one of the central pieces of the exhibit, which is a large map of the Chicago area that has copies of a lot of the artwork that roller rinks used to advertise themselves. This is only a small fraction of the number of rinks that were in Chicago during the Golden Age, but we wanted to create a real visual sense of just how many rinks there were, drawing skaters in from the Chicago area and providing that kind of recreation and community that was so prevalent during the Golden Age.
To Paris comes the latest export from America, the skating vanities. Acclaimed as the hit of the Paris season, the vanities now plan a world tour.
Today we have the Icecapades, which features famous ice skaters. In the 1940s, we had the Skating Vanities, and the Skating Vanities featured a young skater by the name of Gloria Nord. And here we have one of her costumes worn probably around 1945 that's on loan to us from the National Museum of Roller Skating in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I think it speaks a lot to the importance of roller skating at this time. Millions of young women in particular wanted to go to the rinks and emulate Nord's graceful skating style. And to have a costume that she actually wore in performance here really speaks to the popularity of roller skating during the Golden Age. During the Golden Age of roller skating, there were really only two ways to make music loud enough for the skaters to hear above the din of the wheels. And the first of those was to hire an orchestra or a band, and that was expensive. The second way was to acquire a theater organ. And the Elm Rink here in Elmhurst had one of the largest and best theater organs in the Chicago area. 4 banks of keys, over 1,000 pipes. We have a few of the pipes here. We also have the sign that hung on the side of the organ that the organist would change their name so that the skaters knew which of the organist was playing. So if you skated at the Elm and you skated to organ music at the Elm, you heard some sound coming out of one of the 3 pipes that we have here.
Thanks for taking this sneak peek of the Chicago Rink Rats exhibit with us here at the Elmhurst History Museum. You'll want to be sure to see the entire exhibit, which is open through November 4th, 2018. For more information, please visit our website at elmhursthistory.org.
The City of Elmhurst will be collecting pumpkins for composting at the Elmhurst Public Works Garage, 985 South Riverside Drive, on November 3rd from 9 a.m. to noon. This annual pumpkin composting event is held in cooperation with Scarce, an organization dedicated to inspiring people to care for the earth in DuPage County. Thousands of pumpkins have been purchased this season with the intended use of fall decor. When the season comes to an end, many of these pumpkins are thrown away. The City of Elmhurst has teamed up with Scarce to provide an easy outlet for residents and business owners to recycle decorative pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. Why compost pumpkins? They are full of nutrients that are good for the soil. They are 90% water. Most of the pumpkins processed in the United States are grown in Illinois, so this keeps the water and nutrients here. Composting pumpkins returns nutrients and water back to our earth. All pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns can be dropped off at the event for composting. However, only the pumpkins themselves will be collected. Participants with jack-o'-lanterns decorated with stickers, candles, yarn, etc. should remove any materials in or on the pumpkin before delivering for composting. For more information about this event, please call 630-530-3036 or visit elmhurst.org.